Hello, awesome people, and welcome to this new video. Today I want to show you the match between Mikhail and Bruno Parma. Mikhail is white, and we start with e4 c5 and knight f3. This is the Sicilian defense. Knight f3 is a common move of this opening because it allows you to increase the control of two important central squares, d4 and e5. The opponent plays knight c6 with basically the same idea. White plays d4. d4 is used to expand white's space, allowing the opening of the d-file and letting the dark square bishop develop to e3, f4, or g5. Black take the d4 pawn with the c pawn. Remember, it's always good to exchange lateral pawns for central ones. White takes with knight and black plays g6. The black's plan is to place the bishop on g7 and have a much better control of the long diagonal g7, a 1. That's because black has more initiative on the queen side since he has the c-file open. Mikhail plays c4. It's good for increasing control of d5 and allowing the knight to jump to c3 without the pawn behind it. Black plays knight to f6 to attack the e4 pawn, and white responds with knight to c3 to protect it. Black exchanges the knight on d4 to force white's queen to recapture, potentially losing more tempo once black places the bishop on g7. White capture with queen d4 and black plays d6. d6 is a good move because it allows the pawn to control the c5 and e5 squares, and also facilitates the development of the white-squared bishop. White plays bishop e2 for prepare the castle. Black plays g7 for the same idea. White develop his last light piece with bishop e3 and black castle. Now, since the black king protects the black bishop on g7, white need to move the queen, so it plays queen d2. Black develop also his last light piece with bishop e6. White plays rook c1 for avoid some x-ray attacks for h7 bishop, and also to control the c-file. Black plays queen a5 for increase the attack on queen's side. Also, to not allow the knight c3 move, otherwise, white will lose pawn on a 2. That's why white plays b3, for allowing the queen on d2, protecting the a2 pawn, and also protecting the c4 as well in case of rook c8. Black plays rook to c8 and white castles to connect the rooks. Black plays a 6 for trying to push on b5 and increase more the attack on queen's side. Mikhail plays f4 to start attack on king's side. Black continues with the plan and plays b5. White plays f5. Now black can't take with g-pawn, otherwise it will open the g-file and his king will be in trouble, so he retreat the bishop on d7. White plays f-take on g6. In this way, he opened the f-file in order to better attack the king's side. Black plays h-pawn, take g6. Now white plays c5. c5 avoid the black to open the b-file because if b-file is open, the black will gain much more attack on queen's side. Black plays bishop e6 and control d5. Why not take with the d-pawn and having a good pawn's structure? I will explain why. If black takes with pawn, so d takes pawn, Mikhail will play e5 for move the knight out and not let it control the d5 square. After black moves the knight, white plays knight d5. The black best move is to exchange queens first, and after white capture with bishop d2, and black plays rook e8. White plays knight c7 and fork, both rooks. Same with bishop f8 because there is knight b6. So let's get back to the game. After black moves his bishop on e6 to control more the d5 square. Mikhail plays bishop f3 to start an x-ray attack on the a8 rook. Since now bishop control the d5 square, black will take the pawn on c5 for having a good pawn structure. White plays a 5 for attack, both rook and knight, and after knight g4, white takes the rook on a 8 with the bishop. Black plays bishop take e5, which is a mistake since the best move was to take the bishop with the rook. White plays bishop d5 for trying to exchange the bishop and remove a good defender of black kingside. Black capture the knight on d3, and white exchange the bishop in order to remove a very good piece for black. Black now makes an intermediate move, moving the rook to the d8 file to control it and attack the queen, gaining also a tempo. So white decide to play queen f2 for attacking the f7 pawn. Black plays knight ef5 to block the threat. Mikhail plays queen e2 for attacking the black bishop, but also for capture the pawn on e6, once black will capture the white bishop. So after black plays bishop d4 check and white plays king h1, black capture the bishop on e6, and white capture the pawn as well with check. Black move his king on g7. Now white plays knight e4 and try to put more pieces on the attack. Black retreat the queen on d7 since on a 5 was pretty useless, and white plays knight g5. Black now make a mistake and play rook f8, trying to control f7. But now white plays queen take knight on f5, and black resigns. If black takes with rook or pawn, it's same because now Mikhail will play knight e6, fork the king and queen, and eventually win the game. Thanks for the vision. I hope you enjoyed this video and take care.